Welcome to the SyFy podcast, where we give you our point of view. We're part of the Trek Geek Network, the Trek Geek Podcast Network, and I am Sabrina Wood. And I have with me today my SyFy sisters, Yvette Blackman-Tom.
Hello.
And Fran Taylor.
What's happening?
And today we have a special guest. I am really excited because we have a person that I have been trying to get on this show for about 6 months, right? Yeah, that's what it was. He is an actor, a writer, a producer, and a really, really, really nice guy. But you know him most likely as Lieutenant J.G. Linus from Discovery. Welcome to the show, David Benjamin Tomlinson. Yay!
Hello, yay!
Yay!
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, God, you don't know how happy I am. I am just loving you on the show. So I wanted everyone to know how much I love you on the show. So
thank you.
We are big fans of Discovery, of course, and Sonequa Martin-Green and the whole crew. And but we just have been enamored of Linus and you playing him. So I think maybe one of the first questions I have is, okay, one of the first things I want to say is I didn't realize until I started doing the research for this podcast that you've been on the show since season 1.
Mm-hmm. So many different faces.
I was like 2 days old when I found that out.
Discovery
So
keeps them around.
how did you get on this show, and why did you take the part of a Klingon?
Prosthetics work is something that I had always thought about and always been something that I was attracted to. And like whenever I'd watch a movie on DVD or videotape growing up, and they would do the behind the scenes, and I'd see the actors get the head cast, and I was always, I wonder what that's like. That must be so. And watching the makeup process, and I was so fascinated by it that when I got the opportunity to do it, it was kind of a no-brainer. And you know, there were moments in my first days as a Klingon where I would be sitting on set and I'd say to myself, I'm a freaking Klingon right now, like in full makeup. I'd be like, I couldn't believe it. It was so amazing. But the Klingon prosthetic is a tough one. So it was kind of also a trial by fire of learning the art form of it, understanding what the work is, how as an actor things change under a prosthetic. Mm-hmm. So when I think about the first season and playing like those different Klingons, for me, it's very much a trial by fire. It's very much like this intense introduction to this art form that had always fascinated me. And I learned so much. And then sort of once they offered me Linus for season 2, and I didn't know where it was going to go or what Linus was going to be, but I was able to build on that incredible foundation from the first season and have continued to learn. And it's also helped working more closely with Doug because he's such a brilliant genius.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, now we took a Klingon class.
Yes.
You and I took it, right? We had a whole hour of trying to learn how to speak Klingon. It is not easy. So
it is not easy.
There's the real Klingon. Let's make sure we understand it. Not the TNG Klingon. I'm talking the real Klingon. They had us work with a dialect coach, and also like there was a woman who was translating the English into Klingon, and then we'd work with because they were taking the Klingon very seriously. Yes. No shame, I struggled with the Klingon. It was very hard, and I looked at people like Mary Chieffo, who played Laurel. And she made it sound like Shakespeare poetry. Right. And I was like, how are you doing this? I don't understand. Because I don't know she just had this way with it that was, I would just sit and look at her and be like, that's amazing. You're amazing. It just was like, and she has a history in Shakespeare or a background in Shakespeare, or she's done Shakespeare. So maybe that helped. But I struggled with Klingon. It's not easy. It's not an easy language. And you're also
to say, what was one of my lines early on? My name, what was it? So the line was something like, my name is Orek. Mm-hmm. And then in Klingon, you would be like, the line, you'd have the line, but then the word order would be different. So the word order would kind of be like, Orek is my name. So then not only are you thinking about the Klingon sounds, but then you're thinking about where the weight of the words is. Mm-hmm. It stressed me out. It stressed me out. I don't mind saying it stressed me out.
Oh my goodness. I thought Sazad Latif did an excellent job.
Oh,
too.
he also opened his mouth, and it was like, "Is it a sonnet?" It's so beautiful.
Yeah,
he was so good, and he also had a deft poeticism with his delivery. Mm-hmm. It's Klingon is tough. Klingon is tough.
Yeah. I think I thought, like our teacher, our instructor was very good. They sound like Mary Chifo did, and we were like, it's not coming out that way for us.
You start to panic. You're like, right? What? What's happening?
I'm like, oh, and I think Lily got it pretty well. My younger daughter. Well, she likes languages. She's very good at languages. She can catch a language really quick. So she's still learning it. Like she's learning it. She made a point to start learning it, and I'm like, it's only for certain people.
Yeah. Oh no, it's only for certain people, 100%. But the people who are the caretakers of the language now, who are fluent in Klingon, they're continuing to build the language. Yeah. They're continuing to advise and share. Like it's beautiful. It's this beautiful art form, and there's such meaning to it. It's just not one that is easy for me to get my head around.
I do appreciate it more that I know more about it. So.
Oh yeah.
The teacher told me to turn my mic off. So. Well, we all I said this poor man has had so many Klingon classes that he just tells everybody I could only teach one at a time. And the best is you turn your mics off. So they hear this mess coming out of our mouth.
Because there's a lot of unusual sounds, and you've got to, there's a lot of like tongue in different places that you're not used to, and it's amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful art form for sure, but it's tough.
And then you had to act. Then you had to act while doing this language too on the prosthetic. So yeah. Oh my God!
I was living. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot, but it was necessary for my development and to like get used to being on a big set, because I hadn't been on a big set like that in a while. So it's like back on a big set, remembering that, learning this prosthetic stuff, getting the language, finding comfort. It was necessary for that piece of my journey. Mm-hmm. So I it's like mad respect to the challenge of it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm really fascinated by the fact that you said this is the thing you wanted to do, and this was a no-brainer and that's why I really wanted to talk to you, because I'm a big movie fan, and so I go way back, and I always had this fascination with, the Lon Chaney's, the Man of 1,000 Faces, and Boris Karloff, and all of these people who could just morph into these things and you just didn't even know. And of course we have the one and only Doug Jones, and it just amazes me. And when I realized that you had played all these other characters, I was like, oh, he's not even playing at this. The real deal. Okay.
I'm one of those people. I'm one of those Trek fans that actually like read the credits, and I'm like, well, there's David again. Oh my God, there's David again. David is playing a little boy. David playing a little boy. There's David playing a man that stoops over, that's shorter than everybody else, when actually he's taller than everybody else. Again.
There he is again, creeping in. It's funny. It's funny you mentioned Lon Chaney Jr. I saw The Phantom of the Opera when I was on. It was like a Saturday night movie, and I watched it probably
I don't know, 9 or 10. And I couldn't get that face out of my head, and it haunted me, and it scared me.
I'm telling
you. But then I started reading about the sticks he put in his nose to get that note, and I was so fascinated by all of what he did, and all the I think it was fish bones that he stuck to his face to.
Nut job with it. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So okay,
there's something.
Right, go ahead, because Lon Chaney is just. He's the one that started all of this, you know?
And there's something really beautiful about practical effects. There's something really beautiful about it, not like what they're doing with computer animation is amazing, but when it's really there and you're really dealing with it, it's so exciting to watch, and it's so exciting to perform under.
Mm-hmm. And so do you feel that it helps you with the role itself when you put that? I mean, I've heard Doug Jones say that, like, once they get the applications put on, they're getting, you know, who this character is once they wear the prosthetics. It's like, okay.
Once the mask goes on, you start to feel it in your body, and it hangs, your body sits a certain way, and you find an attitude, and you know, it informs a lot of the character. Okay. You know, like you're inhabiting art. Like, these prosthetic pieces are art. They're so beautiful, and you put on the art, and then suddenly you're changed, and then the art's changed because you're inside of it, and then it's this really beautiful marriage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like the way
when I walked in.
You can't see this audience, but he was moving, and his shoulders were loosened. I was like, all right, he's getting ready.
All right. You got to feel it. When I walked into the prosthetics trailer for my first camera test as Linus, and I walked in, and I hadn't seen a picture. I hadn't seen him, and the head was sitting on the counter, and I gasped. I was like, he's so beautiful. The prosthetic is such a beautiful piece of art. I couldn't believe it. And then when it goes on, it informs something, and you find, there's the shoulders again. You find the thing, you find the, and also another big piece of the puzzle for me is wardrobe. Mm-hmm. What they put you in, and that's, I mean, sometimes it's the Federation, but even, wearing a fancy dress Federation uniform suggests a certain different kind of a posture than your normal.
So putting on that Klingon uniform is like,
oh my goodness.
That was those.
We were in our terra firma, and I think we came at you a certain way, David, when we saw you. It was totally mirror when we met you, so I understand what you're saying to me.
Amazing.
Did you have any clue that Linus would take off like he did?
No. Going to the Vegas Con this past August was my first chance to intersect with the Star Trek community in person. And I started to really sort of connect that people really liked this character. Like, I had like, there had been messages on social media, but then I started to really clock it. I didn't know. I love the character so much, and I just am so like excited that other people love the same things about him. It's incredibly humbling, and it's like, I have this cool new friend, and I'm so glad you all like my cool new friend, because I'm so glad we all get along. I don't know. It's I go into work, and I do my job, and I come home. And then I forget that millions of people are going to watch the show. And so, I'm not going out to a comedy club or a theater here to do something like this is going out. So I forget there's so many more people who are being exposed to the work. And there's this real Linus appreciation, which I'm super inspired by and grateful for. And
he made a Linus cookie. We were like, we want that.
Yes.
We were worried about Linus when he almost hooked up with Georgiou, because, she kind of freaky there. So
Almost.
Yeah, but I think Linus liked that. That was a very. I was sad to see her go because I was like, "Oh, this could be amazing." So I was sad to see her go.
I mean, we don't even know what happened when she told him to come with her. They just kind of
no, right? They could have had a real heart to heart.
Yeah,
I remember sitting with Michelle. We were shooting. It was the dinner scene in the captain's quarters with Saru and the crew, and and Michelle and I were sat side by side, and we had just shot the popcorn scene or we were about to shoot the popcorn scene, and she looked at me and she said, "Are they setting us up?" And I was like, "I don't know, but I'm totally into it." And she and I,
that would have been
she
great.
and I have super fun chemistry.
She's Poppy. Come on now.
Yeah. She's a marvelous, marvelous woman. She's very fun to be around and has great bubbly energy. I mean, you've heard, and because you've met the cast, everyone on the cast is just super lovely.
They look like they just have so much fun. Yeah. But that is too funny. I can't unsee that. That's just like, you know what? Rewatching the show Linus has an attitude too, because you've got that really great voice. Linus has that voice, like he's not clicking and popping, and it comes translating out. What did he say at one point when you all was sitting in the? I was hatched ready. I
was hatched ready.
He's snarky. He's a little snarky.
Yes, he is.
Oh my God!
Yeah, like like every time I play him, I'm always just like, oh yes, no, I know exactly what's going on here. I relate.
There's nothing wrong with that. Welcome to the club.
And he can do a sneeze.
Oh,
yeah.
Like nobody else.
Yeah,
that was something else.
There's a take on the night that we shot that scene, which was my first time on set as in the full prosthetic, and we shot the sneeze in the elevator. And on one of the takes that I sneezed my teeth out of my head, and they hit the floor.
Your teeth?
Yeah, it's on the DVD.
Oh yeah, it's on the sort of gag reel for season 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was mortified. It was pretty because I had to like snap my head, and if you look at the take, it's hilarious because you can't see like my face, but I'm like mortified. So I'm gamely just carrying on with the scene, like maybe nobody noticed my teeth. And Sonequa looks up at me; she's right beside me, and Sonequa looks up at me like, "What?" And her eyes just sort of awooga, and then she just starts howling, and then everyone in the elevator starts laughing.
It's pretty funny. Yeah,
I'll have to watch that one.
Oh yeah, Anson Mount must have lost it.
Oh yes, everyone did. Everyone in the elevator lost it. It was pretty great.
Even the guy he sneezed on.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. Remember that guy?
That guy.
Connolly. I think his name was Connolly.
I think so. He did last
time. A beautiful start because the turbo lift doors open and there you are, and it was like, what in the world? And then the eyes blinked, and I just went, okay, this character better come back, because I liked him right from when the doors opened up. I'm like, okay, what in the world is going on in this elevator? But and Pike is behind you just staring, and I just said, this is priceless. But you're right, because you're a science officer, and there you are on this ship with Saru, who is science, and Michael Burnham, who is science. So, you've got to hold your own. You were telling them about it in the Sphere. You were telling them about the Sphere. You were telling them about the Red Angel. I was watching these clips, and I was like, Linus knows his science. He knows
Linus is on it. He's just not. He's just like all over the place, but he's on it.
He doesn't know how to use the transporter, but he's good. He's smart in other ways.
Look at my favorite thing about the transporter storyline, which I thought was hilarious, was I loved that the writers acknowledged that we're not all easy adapters to technology.
Right.
And I'm so proud to represent that, because there's like an Instagram update and I'm like, oh no, what's changed? Oh
right.
no. And I'm calling, like, what's happening? What is this now?
Right.
And like, my friends is like, just relax. So I loved that they sort of not like, yes, it's TV and we want all our heroes to be easy adapters to new tech, and absolutely. But I also love that they acknowledge that new tech doesn't always come easy to everyone.
Right.
And I also love that he keeps trying. Like, he keeps going. He doesn't stop. He's just like, one mistake and it's over. He's like, no, I'm going to keep trying. And I love that. So I loved that little storyline. It was a
awesome.
Joy to shoot.
It was awesome. I loved it because you never knew, like, oh, not again. It was great. I loved it.
Just getting on Stamets' nerves and stuff. You know.
Who doesn't?
Anthony's so good. Anthony's so good. Yeah. Such a joy.
It's a great cast, though.
It is.
It is a great cast.
Yeah, it's a great cast. I mean,
so are we going to? Well, I don't know what you could tell us, but I am dying to see Linus on an away mission. I want him outside of the ship. And I don't know how.
Oh, that would be great.
How? Is that something you can do?
That's it. That's his statement.
That's his statement. He's sticking to it.
That's it.
Well, I mean, Linus would be great because Saurians have 4 hearts, so they're great in different atmospheres.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about the rest of season 4. There's more Linus to come.
Oh, goody!
Absolutely.
Buddy. That's all I had to hear.
Yeah. So I think there's. I mean, the rest of the season is very much a. Are you ready? Because here we go. Kind of an adventure. Yeah,
I'm ready.
It's very exciting.
And Linus is going to be a part of it. Yay!
Linus is a part of it. Yeah.
I want a Linus stuffed animal. I want a stuffed toy.
I do.
You are not the first person to talk about that. And if they ever get around to making plush Linuses,
I think it's coming.
Hasbro, if you're listening,
and we know you are.
we get the Playmates. We want to go right straight to the stuffed animal.
Yeah.
But but what I really like about this is that one of the things I noticed too is that reptilians get a bad rap in Star Trek. They're always the bad guys. You were like the bad species. We were like, we got the Gorn, we got the Cardassians, we got the Xindi reptiles. I was like, all right, man, the Saurians come in there just like, okay, we're in Starfleet.
We Starfleet.
We got Brandy.
I'm waiting for a Brandy moment. I know that at some point there will be a Brandy moment.
Got to. In that bar. It's got to.
That set is.
Yeah.
I was like what? Yeah. Can I have this in my house? Can we put this in my apartment? That would be
that's
amazing.
A nice set.
It is.
Hanging out on that.
10-4 would look like, whatever.
Downgrade.
We walked the beige carpets in 10-4, and we are now on Discovery. Boy, baby, what's it got? A fireplace and everything in there.
Oh, and there's fire in the walls. Like it's such a warm.
Does it have a name? So they didn't name it or anything, right?
I don't know.
I don't remember them giving it a name. I think they said the bar.
Very possibly, yeah. I don't know if it has an official name.
It needs a name. I say we name it.
But that's going to be, I think, a nice. That's a great set. We've been on the bridge so much, and then in Bookship and all this, but they've got some really. That's a cool addition to the set. So I'm loving that.
It brings a real beautiful, warm tone. Like the designers and the builders on the show are so like it. They're so smart and so creative, and it just is like it adds so much of this of the ship is like a ship, and then this is such a beautiful, warm, casual, soft space. It's a really beautiful visual counterpoint.
Yeah, because in that show, I'm glad they do have that, because at one point you guys were just it, but at least now you've got the rest of Starfleet that you finally found them. but I still get the sense that this crew is still hanging together. They are not necessarily going outside and going on leaves and hanging out with other Federation people yet, because they're just so different from everybody else that they would still click up together, and I think it would be really interesting to see a story about how they get acclimated to being 900 years in the future. I mean, are you going to find friends outside of your Discovery crew? Are you going to be...
Oh, that's fascinating.
Finally say, yeah, this is my friend that was born 900 years before I even thought about anything.
Right.
It's like weird. Like what, I feel for that crew so deeply. And everybody that made the decision to go. And I know we're like, oh, we're a Federation now, but no, you guys still have some issues.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big deal, that jump. And I think, this season, they addressed certainly some aspects of it last season, and this season have continued to do so. And for me, it's just like, yeah, but like you have to work through stuff, and the crew is working through this piece of their story and their journey.
Yeah. I love the storyline. I mean, so I love that, Sonequa is the captain. That I love that more than anything. But I really want to know more about this crew. There's so many great characters on this ship. And like Sabrina said, I want to know, how are they dealing with it? What we know Tilly made a decision to leave. What is everybody else doing? How are they dealing with? I would love to know so much more. I don't know why. I think a lot of people are like, what about this crew? You gave us these great characters, but we're just not getting these stories, So
Right.
I'm hoping sooner or later it won't be, we got a race to save everything, and maybe a season, a season of great stories about the crew. I would love that. I think a lot of people would too, because I would love to know about Saurians, because we know about Saurian Brandy, but that's about it. And then we get Linus, and okay, so give me some more information about, this is a character or a name of a species that we've heard since the beginning, and we finally got a character, but not much information.
Who did Linus leave behind? He made sense too. The crew.
He didn't do a goodbye letter. We didn't see his goodbye letter.
What would Linus's goodbye letter have been? Like something sort of like an emotional quality in Linus is I feel like he's very loyal, and so I think for him there was a loyalty transcended any other sort of consideration in his decision to move forward, because he's loyal to the crew and he's loyal to the ship and the larger mission. So I think my feeling is based on his loyalness, that it would have been like, no, this is what's happening and this is where we're going. And, there's so many great characters on the show, and the writers have to tell a story. It's a very tough juggling act to sort of, balance everything. But I think the great thing about a character like Linus, and like all of the characters on the ship, is there's so much storytelling potential if they ever need a story or a character to draw from. There's so much rich possibility that they have in the tapestry. And so they've, and to their credit, they're, they can reach for that at any time. I trust the writers' room very much for that show.
Maybe we'll get some short treks.
Yeah, short treks. Bring those. Yeah,
bring those back.
Why the short trek? Did you create a backstory yourself about Linus when you realized the character was going to have more than a couple of scenes?
It's something that sort of is piecing together. Like this idea of loyalty, like I feel like he also has a temper. I'm like, well, where does his temper come from? And like what trigger? So where does that come from in his past? So slowly, the more time I spend inside the prosthetic and the character in the world, like different pieces are dropping in. Certainly what speaks mostly to me is sort of like his emotional qualities, or where he feels he fits in and how he feels he fits in and what he does around the ship. But the more and more that I'm around, that sort of like those other bigger pieces fall into place.
The cause of the burn. What do you think about that?
All right. Yeah, they had me play young Sukal, so they filmed me against a green screen, and then they shrunk me down, then they digitized the face a bit, and then they obviously did not use my actual voice for the scream or the talking, because I don't sound like a 14-year-old. But that was very exciting to come in and do that. I mean, there's a real delight in getting to play a character over a period of time and learning more about the character as you go. And then there's a real visceral excitement about getting to put on a face for a day. And you're like, I'm going to be this for today, and I've got to figure everything out about this moment and this in this moment. And then I'm walking away from it at the end of the day. So it's a different muscle, and it's a different kind of excitement, and it has its pros and cons, and it's just a different, it's just like there's the over time, or there's like a flash in the pan, but it's always exciting to me to put on a different face and figure something out about the character based on the mask and based on the outfit. I played there was
Cosmo.
a Saurian.
Don't forget Cosmo.
Cosmo
got blown to bits.
Yeah, that was super fun. And there was another language special, the Cosmo Trace.
Yeah.
So that was another. I was in the cold sweat before those shoot days. But I played a Saurian diplomat, and in episode 4 or 6 of this season, and getting to do he beat up Book. And it was that was my first big on camera fight, and I was like, oh, this is again very different and very exciting, and David was amazing to work with, and it was super fun to sort of, when my mom saw that episode, she's like, when I watch Linus, I totally see you. But when I watch Cosmo, I don't know who that is, because that's not you. And I'm like, Mom, I think it is me. That's just, he lives deep, deep inside, but he's there. I'm not all angel, right?
That's not my baby boy.
Because Cosmo was bad. And I tell you, you died really well. I mean, just follow.
No!
Dude.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh my God, there goes David. But he'll be back. He'll be back.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to go. I know we love Linus, and of course, we love everything that you've done on this. But I was intrigued by your writer's block credit and the fact that you wrote and produced it. And so, tell us a little bit about that. And do you have any directorial aspirations, since you are sitting in Star Trek 101, which loves to make producers out of their actors?
Directors, right?
And directors.
Directors out of their actors, yes.
Well, I'll let me address the writer's block piece first, and then I'll address that one. The writer's block came out of, it was, how many years ago now? 10? That I was talking with a friend of mine, and I had just gotten, because I'm a writer as well, and I had just gotten a show turned down, and he had just gotten a show turned down, and we were both frustrated. And, I said to him, we've got to do something just for us. Let's write something just for us that we don't need a gatekeeper, or we don't need a yes from someone. We'll just shoot it with our own money, really, really small scale. So we came up with this idea of these 3 writers in a writing room writing a show they all hate. And we sort of shot 10 5-minute episodes, and we put them on the internet. And it got the attention of a producer. And then we went to the CBC, which is our national broadcaster here in Canada. And we pitched them, and they said, well, we know the show. We've watched the show. We like the show. We just like to know what you'd like. And so we said, well, we want to do more. And so then I did a season with the CBC, and we worked with the producer, and I helped produce.
and we got to do it sort of like for reals with like, you know, wardrobe and a great set. And yeah, it was an amazing experience, and I'm really proud of it. And it lives here on the digital arm, which I don't believe is available outside of Canada, called CBC Gem.
Okay.
But it was very exciting to be able to write something and see it come to life, and so many people come together to make it happen. And do I have directorial aspirations? Possibly. I mean, as a writer, you're always visualizing how things could be or could look, or when you're describing a scene, it's always like, yeah. But I don't know if there's a difference between how things could look and writing that versus standing behind the camera and making it look a certain way. Yeah. I certainly have enjoyed working with directors who are very much on, when we talk about things that I've written, they're very much like, they get it. And I very much like, oh, you understand what I'm doing and want to elevate it with your skill set. So do that, because I'm very comfortable as a writer and you're comfortable as a director. I've learned a lot from watching and participating. So maybe directing down the road. I don't know. Producing is tough. You have to be a very special cat to be able to produce. There's too many numbers for me to do it.
I've taken producing classes at film school, and that's a whole other thing. Tax incentives.
And if you can do it, if you can do it, like, my hat's off to you. And but everyone will want to be your pal, because it's a rare skill set. Mm-hmm. I excelled at the creative producing piece, like the managing all of the different creative producery stuff. Mm-hmm. I compartmentalizing and information streams. I nailed all of that. The number stuff was like, what now? This is a graph for what? This is a when? Where did this come from? Page 9? I didn't get there. I just kind of lost interest halfway through page 1. I was supposed to go to the end? Oh. You know.
Not for me.
Not for me.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's definitely tough. But I'm so impressed by anyone that can, like, you know, look at a blank piece of paper and actually get something together, get it on the screen, and have other people, you know, make it and create it and get it out there. So I applaud you. I take my hat off to you for getting all that done. Amazing. So,
it's a lot of work, but I love the full circleness. I love the being embraced by the blank page and going on a journey, and then it lifts off the page into the mouths of actors and other people, and everyone works together, and you have your creative community, and then you're back at your desk and starting again. It's a beautiful cycle.
It really is. It really is. All right, so I wanted to play a little game. Can you want to play my game?
Okay.
It's really quick.
Okay.
Don't even think when I ask these questions. It's called.
I'm so nervous.
Okay. No. It's just called, which alien would you prefer to play?
Okay.
Ready? Yeah. TOS. Vulcan or Andorian?
Vulcan.
Okay. Now we're going to Voyager. Corrosion or Kazon? You can say with the Corrosions if you want to.
There's no coaching.
Ooh, can I pass? That's Kazon.
Really? Okay, with that crazy hair. All right.
Oh, crazy hair.
Yes.
I'll crazy hair. I want
crazy hair.
Okay, we'll go to DS9. Cardassian or Vorta?
Ooh, I love the Cardassian makeup in DS9. It's so intense. Am I thinking of the right one?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a full, yes.
I used to love that neck. The neck always got me, but they always took the makeup all the way down to the loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that goes so wide.
Yes.
All right, and the last one, Alien or Predator?
I'm going to say Alien because they're more graceful. They're all kind of like a little snaky and a little like
reachy, and Predator's more like, you know, but Alien is a bit like slinking around.
Yes.
You know.
Exactly.
Oh my God. It's just so funny watching you think about
Right.
which one, you know.
He just gets into it, you know.
You know,
So the total body, like, okay,
Yes.
and I'm just sort of like, I hate the water and I want to be He's totally into it. You are such a pro.
was you a Trek fan before you got on Trek?
I wasn't a Trek fan. I was like a science fiction enthusiast.
Okay.
So like I grew up watching Doctor Who and Next Generation and Star Wars and Alien. So like I had an affinity for the genre of science fiction.
Okay.
And getting to then like being on a Star Trek show is just sort of like you know, again, I keep pinching myself.
Aww.
It's like here, you watch the stars when you were a little boy and dreaming the dreams and watching all these great shows, and now you're up there in space and people are watching you, and it's an incredibly thrilling thing to be a part of the science fiction world and to be part of the Trek world. And you know, I'm. As I said earlier, like being in Vegas was my first major intersection with the Trek community in person since my work started on the show. And I was just so blown away by the generosity of spirit. And like so many people just walked past the table and said, "Hey, welcome to the family," you know, and it just looking at the affection amongst the people and the incredible cosplay and the creativity and the imagination. It was just, you know, it kind of makes me a bit emotional because I wasn't prepared, or I didn't know what to expect. And it was like, I was like, oh my goodness, like it's a beautiful thing that the fans are curating and are like evolving and moving forward. It's a pleasure to be a part of that.
Oh.
You're part of it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
This is the rest of your life.
All right. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And you'll be in an elevator. You'll be old. You'll be old and stooped over like Cosmo, and there'll be a fan saying, "Cosmo, you play Cosmo, right?"
And I'll be right. That's right.
Yes.
Proud. One of my 50 faces. You know, by that point, one of my 50 faces.
Yeah, you know.
Or they'll be like, "You was the burn."
I know. I do. I mean, I feel like when I watched it, I was like, oof. Like that's oof. You know, God, a lot of that screams a killer, literally.
Literally.
It's
But you are the guy now. I will always associate the burn.
The next time I see you in Vegas, I'll be like, "The burn, really?" That's it. That's us.
That screams a killer.
It was like I mean, and there was Bill Irwin who was playing Sukal, and he's this amazing vaudevillian actor, and getting to be the childlike or his sort of like child memory and feeding into the work he was doing and observing the work that he was doing, and it's a big responsibility to play. Yeah. Like I have to embody your character as a kid for 30 seconds. Here we go. I'm going to scream. You know, and so it's this very pivotal. It's this very pivotal moment in his character's journey that he has to observe. And it's like, oh, I was a bit nervous about doing it in a way that he was going to resonate with, but we finished. He was watching on the monitors, and we finished taping the scream. And I walked out, and he just went like this. He put his both thumbs up, and I was like, okay, so
he's happy. He feels it. So great.
Yep. Yeah. That was great.
Don't say
Don't say this.
Oh my God.
You know what? I think about when Detmer asked Burnham, like, well, how many died? And she looked at it and said millions. And he said, that screams a killer.
I know. I shouldn't have. It sounds callous, and that wasn't my. It wasn't my intention to be callous, but
Brianna's gone.
I can't help it. But it's true.
I have this question that, just talking to you just now, this came to my mind. They are rebooting all kinds of movies and rebooting everything. And I just had this flash in my mind that if they rebooted any movie that had you in it, it would be, for me, Enemy Mine. And I would like you to play that Luke Gossett part. Awesome.
All right.
Other reptilians.
Yeah.
Could you just see David playing Enemy Mine reboot?
You know what? I have not seen that movie in ages. I am going to watch that. I missed that movie. I loved it. And it was Dennis Quaid, right? It was Dennis Quaid and Luke Gossett Jr.?
Yeah.
I think it's old enough to rate a reboot.
Yeah.
Yes.
It needs a reboot. It does. It does. Because I used to watch that thing. I think I owe Blockbuster like millions of dollars for that thing.
Because you didn't rewind your tapes?
I did not rewind it.
No, but it's got a lot of social commentary in it too. I mean, it's got a lot of meat on the bone besides those two performances. And I think it would be a really interesting one to go back and look at again. And I'm like, Paramount, you're listening. I don't know who owns that movie.
It is this underappreciated classic that had so much to say, and the performances are great.
Great.
I'd pay money to see you in it. I would pay big dollars.
I'd love to see how they'd update that makeup.
Yes.
And,
wow.
That would be something else.
Yeah.
That was one of those movies.
Now I gotta go watch it.
I've got a project this weekend. It's Enemy Mine weekend.
That's right. With all this snow, I'll go ahead and watch that.
I thought when you were talking about Lon Chaney, it was just like, oh God, I could just see you do that part, man. You would tear that up.
That's high praise. Thank you.
Because back in the day, HBO would play movies every 30 seconds or every hour and a half. But every time that movie came on, I watched it. If I was changing channel, I'm like, oh, I gotta watch. I love that movie, and you would be great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love everyone has those. It happened more in the days when you just sort of like watch TV as opposed to sit down to your service and press the button and it happens. Mm-hmm. But I love that there's those handful of movies for everybody that if you just casually turned on your TV and you heard the dialogue from one of those movies, that your day stopped and you're like, all right, it's going to be this today. Right. But you never passed up the opportunity to watch that. I love those. It's like 3 or 4 for everybody. And, you had to sort of have had experience pre-streaming to appreciate that list, but
definitely,
I love those movies, right? Like the ones that I'm going to watch this. I can't say no to this.
Mm-hmm. Independence Day.
Amazing!
I'm watching it. I gotta say,
amazing.
It was on today on BBC.
Independence
I did watch it just a little bit. Yeah, it was on. It was on.
The aliens are scary in that one.
They are scary. Yeah, they're not like Linus.
Around.
Brent Spiner.
I was going to ask about. I was really going to ask about what did you want to see Linus do? Because I wanted to ask that, but I didn't know if you could be able to answer the question. What do you want Linus to do?
Oh, that's great. I would like to see Linus. I would like, now that we've seen him in sort of various iterations, bopping around the ship, I would like to see more of his professional side. I would like to see him at work and contributing. So we get an idea of how he contributes. We know how he contributes as a personality.
Right.
But I'd like to see how he contributes as a crew member, like when he's working.
Okay.
Right.
I like to see that too.
Science ship.
More Linus.
If that involves,
I just want to see more Linus.
Agreed. Agreed.
Right.
I'm, like I love the character, and I love the exploring the character, and I love going to work and being on with that incredible cast and that incredible crew. The friendships that I've made. I miss my work family very much, especially in these sort of these months, which have been, more chaotic than maybe I would have liked. But going to work is always, and the prosthetic artists that I work with, who, I spend a lot of time with early mornings. Like I love the character, and I love all of the different pieces of it. So yeah, here's to more. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, who's your cast buddy on the show? Like when you go there, and like who do you end up hanging out with? Like when you can hang out and have somebody just hold your Coke.
Well, I guess my main cast buddy is Doug, because we're two peas in a pod when we are together, and we hold. There's something it's when you're on set with someone else who's in a heavy prosthetic, you both are sharing an experience, and nobody else, everyone else can appreciate the experience that you're having, but no one else is really sharing it with you in the same way.
Okay.
And so when Doug and I are in set together, they usually, at this point, they usually just sit us beside each other, and we'll talk, or we'll just sit in silence, or we'll, like squeeze, like give each other a little shoulder squeeze just as like support, and get to know, just help each other navigate the day. And when we sense the other person's energy lagging, we go over, like it's okay. So I think and I spend time with him in the prosthetics trailer, right, when we're both getting our makeup on. I'm also I got a chance to at Vegas connect with Patrick, who is lovely.
They were hanging out on the corner.
That little corner.
Yeah.
And Patrick's station is right by the science station, so he and I will also during the day we'll chat a lot because he's close. I don't have to navigate to go very far to chat with Patrick, and so he's another person that I have gotten close to, but. Anybody in that cast would gladly hold a Coke for me, and I would gladly hold a Coke for them.
I believe it.
One of the Dungeons and Dragons people.
Oh, they are amazing. I love what they are doing. I love what they're doing. I love that the D&D thing is taken off. That they have their channel now. That they're able to showcase that side of the gaming world and bring Trek into it. I am a huge fan, and I super adore Anthony, and I adore them all. Who am I kidding? But,
That's awesome.
I know that cast, and they just seem like they are just really tight. So I'm so happy for you to be on there, and I love watching what you're doing. I am going to definitely. I want to tell everybody that Enemy Minds needs to be
like, need a reboot.
Like reboot. Other movie that I could think of, but that's the one. I'm just I've got. This is like going to be a thing for me now. This has got to happen. I'm going to put my.
So everyone's homework is to watch Enemy Mine, and then just mention it a lot. Like, hey, don't you think Enemy Mine would be? It's ripe for reboot. You know who'd be great? But who's going to play the human? Who's going to play the human though? Who do we? Patrick.
Oh,
Patrick could play the human.
He could.
Patrick Kwok.
Yeah.
I think
he could.
You guys got good chemistry. That's for sure.
Yeah.
He's cool. I would pay so much money.
What happened? What did you say?
She said he would cost too much money.
She's thinking about. She's got her producer hat on, and she's gonna make this happen.
Patrick,
okay. I'm telling you.
Excuse me. What Patrick are we talking about?
Quark.
Who plays Lieutenant Reese?
Right. Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
That would be cool. I would love that. I'm telling you. I do. I have my producer hat on. I'm like, how can I get this movie made? We're gonna get a deck together. Like, this is gonna happen.
Well, because we're talking about it, the first thing to do would be to go online and look and see if there's, because it very well could be in development. We could just be having a zeitgeist moment.
Right, exactly.
You know, like, because
it could have came out and it was just terrible.
Right.
We got to line up our IPs and we got to figure out who's got rights and we got to make this.
And don't think Sabrina's not going to be on Slack tomorrow telling us, well, this is what I did at 8:00 in the morning, telling us how much research she just did on all of this. So, yes.
I thought that's the Patrick you all were talking about at first, and then you said something else. I'm like, I know she's not talking about Patrick Stewart. I know she's talking about the other guy. I'm like, I know she's talking about the other Patrick. Can't be. That's why I asked. I thought that
nobody can afford that guy. Now we really can't afford that guy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay.
No.
I'm so excited for Picard season 2. Oh my
Lord!
Me
too.
And the third, and then Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds.
I'm excited for all of it. Like this year is
going
to be.
Give me more Trek, please.
All year round. Such a variety. I love that we have such a variety of Trek now, not just the one and done episode thing going on, and I just love it. Yeah. So
I love our captains. Like, I love Sonequa. I love Anson. I love Patrick. I love the range of captains, and I'm devoted to every one of them.
Yes. Yeah, we got all these captains, and I
Captain Freeman on lower decks. Don't forget her.
That's right.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
So I want a Saurian on lower decks, please.
Okay, well, I'll make a call. Well, there at the end of season 1 when Riker came in, there was a Saurian first. His number 1 is Saurian, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Jonathan Frakes is a big Linus fan.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that. So he really liked the prosthetic a lot, and he was a lot of enthusiasm for Linus. So. Yeah, he's a lovely man.
Okay.
Well, if you got Franks behind you, you're good. You're gonna be on a lot of Star Trek. You be good. Right.
That's right.
Go.
I hope that you are in a lot of Star Trek.
Oh, thank you. I'm having a wonderful time. So I am open and ready to see where the stars take me,
Oh.
Sorry.
Wow.
Wow. Where the stars take me.
Right.
We're done.
We'll talk about this after we finish recording. I'm dead. Are you ready for me?
All right, Yvette, take us out of here. How can people find us? And then David, tell us where people can find you. But go ahead, Yvette.
You want to do David first?
Yeah, David, where can people find you? Because everybody just loves Linus so much.
People can find me on Twitter and Instagram. It's the same handle. It's at DavBenTom. It's the first 3 letters of each of my names.
Mm-hmm.
DavBentom.
Awesome. You got anything else coming up? Any independent work? Anything?
Yeah.
I'm writing right now, so we'll see where that goes. But it's all pretty quiet at the moment, which so I'm kind of hunkered down, and I just want to say, if we're saying goodbye, that it's so cold here today,
and this has been just the most warming conversation. So thank you for this. This has been just a lovely dismount on the day.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Killing me again.
You can find us at SyFysistas.com. That's SyFysistas.com. Join us on the mothership. That's MUTHASHIP. And the SyFy Sisters Book Club, both on Facebook. Download the Trek Geeks Network app, where you can find us and our family of podcasts on the Trek Geeks Network. On Instagram, syfy.sisters. And we are also on the Twitter at SyFy Sisters. After listening to this podcast, please rate us and write a review. We may just read it on an upcoming episode.
Okay, we'd also like to give a shout out to our sound engineer, the one, the only, Dose, the anonymous one. And you can reach him at, oh my God, I've got a spell.
Where's Tamia?
ANONYMOUS, the number 1 at gmail.com. I did it.
Perfect.
Okay. Yes, we just want to say Tamia could not join us today, but she's sending love. She is spending the day with her mother at a great concert. And hi, Tamia's mom. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's my mom's birthday today, too.
Get out.
Awesome. Well, happy birthday to your mom, too.
Oh, thank
Happy birthday.
We have special relationship with moms on this show.
Right.
So amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome.
All right, everybody. And so, everybody, good night. And thanks for joining us. And as Tamia would say, what a sister really needs, peace, love, and hair grease. Bye-bye.
Hey, y'all. Are you looking for that perfect holiday or birthday gift for that special geek in your life? Why not check out the world's first app-enabled Tribble from Jay and Kalia at Science Division. These soft and cuddly fuzz buckets actually trill for friends and squeal at Klingons. Adopt your Tribble today at Science Division. That's sciencediv.com. Science Division. By fans, for fans. Trouble's never been this fun.